I don't like busts. Now, that is one of the big things of miniature painting. You got your minis and your armies and your collections, but then busts are kind of this other love letter to miniature painting, and a lot of people really dig them, and I see why. It's a bigger, more expressive canvas to really try some painting things out on, and the end result can be absolutely breathtaking. But for me, the problem is, it's not a toy. I don't get to play with it, and so I don't really care. It has to be pretty darn cool and really catch my eye for me to really want a bust. This has happened one time so far. This little Space Marine guy. This was a little garage kit that somebody made of a classic Space Marine intercessor. And the kind of fun thing is I was revamping my Black Templar army and I was trying out some new painting techniques. And I really wanted to experience painting the exact thing I had been painting, intercessors, but on a grander scale. And it was really cool to recontextualize the painting and just have a lot more room to play with. Also, because this was a kit, I got to glue on all these little pouches and purity seals and like kind of pose this guy, and so it added a little bit more fun to this particular project. I did this guy in a video and I really like how he turns out, and it is fun seeing him on the shelf every single day. But this was a couple of years ago, and since then, no bust has ever caught my eye. However, this year at Adepticon, I was perusing the booths and I stopped by at the Trench Crusade booth and I picked up this little number. This is a bust of the Artillery Witch, and this one really caught my eye because to me, it's kind of funny. What a bust is it's usually like a really big expression. Your character's face is big and bold and you really have a screenshot of what's going on, and you can emphasize that with paint. What really makes me chuckle about the Artillery Witch bust is there's no face, there's no expression, there's no character, it's just the silhouette. And that, to me, is funny to have a bust of that kind of a character, and so I decided to pick it up. This will be my second time doing a bust, and I'm kind of interested to see what happens. I was there every day at Adepticon, and they sold a lot of these. When I bought mine, I think they had 3 left. It's cast in a few different chunks, and it all fits together perfectly. The cast is really nice. These details are so much bigger than the ones on miniatures. There is no cleanup to be done, no scraping or sanding. I just need to give it a wash to get rid of any mold release agent, so I threw them into my ultrasonic cleaner. The rough didn't want to submerge, but after a whack it went down. 10 minutes in the ultrasonic bath, and I gave the parts a scrub with a toothbrush under the sink to get the rest of the soap off. A few dabs with a paper towel and the parts were ready to go. I started out spraying the parts of the black prime. I didn't spray the head yet though, I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. Now the chest armor of this figure is full of delicate filigrees, so to get an idea of what I should paint, I took a flashlight and blasted this part from above and took a picture. I looked at this picture and analyzed exactly where the light was falling. Because of its shape, almost none of the bottom has any light, just a little bit bouncing up from the table. I had my picture close by and I started to sketch on my light, starting out with a mid-tone gray. It's weird painting in a different scale. Everything is just a little bit different from my normal painting. I have more room, but I can't rely on things like washes and speed paint to quickly give me my shadows. After a first round of gray paint, I took a brighter gray and painted over my highlights, focusing on the tops of each piece. If this was the Trench Witch miniature, this would only take a few minutes and I would probably paint it along with the rest of the metal, but being so big, it's its own little adventure. Now my highlights are on and they're looking very intense. I want to soften them and introduce some color, so I took a yucky green-brown color, thinned it down with water, and glazed this over top of everything. Now my highlights are brought down into a mid-tone range and I can reapply them, being a little more careful in my application. I mixed up some new highlights using this green-brown color and started to put on some more highlights, making sure my lines were nice and crisp, and I brought my colors up to nearly white. The chest armor is almost done. I took some satin varnish and sprayed it over the chest. Most pro painters use matte varnish to better show off their brush strokes, but I like how satin makes colors look. Taking a good look at the chest, it still seems a little harsh with the highlight, so I took some white paint into my airbrush and gave a very slight squirt over the front to soften my brushwork. Now it's done. And I put some silly putty over this so I don't rub off any of the paint while I paint up the rest of her clothing. We've been getting deep into Trench Crusade here at EonsOfBattle, and this has accumulated in our most ambitious project ever, our first campaign, The Catacombs of the Blessed Dead, a collaboration between EonsOfBattle and Trench Crusade for digital and physical terrain. Delve beneath the ruined earth to find the Catacombs, a labyrinth of deadly corridors and claustrophobic hallways studded with the bones of the blessed men and women who have fallen in holy war. This officially licensed terrain pack includes everything you need to recreate this dangerous modular maze. We also have original compatible resin cast miniatures, perfect for your grimdark miniature battles. The Trench Sappers and the Grace of Flesh, soldiers and demons locked in internal conflict. The pre-campaign is up. You can follow using the link in the description to see what we're offering and to be the first to know what else is coming. For her capelet, I started off with a base coat of a dark green mixed with black. The original Artillery Witch artwork is hard to get any clues as to what color the Artillery Witch is. Everything is washed out in the dark drab tones that help convey the look and feel of Trench Crusade, so I'll have to get inventive. I took the same dark green but without the black and sprayed this around her shoulders to start highlighting. This is pretty subtle, but with such a large figure, subtlety actually is pretty noticeable. And something else that's noticeable is the texture on the cloth. It's pretty harsh, and I want to accentuate this with some brushwork. I took a nice sharp brush and sketched lines running parallel with the lines on the fabric. I dragged my brush over the cloth and hit on all the raised folds in the fabric. Then I mixed some white paint into my green and did another round of lines, focusing on the top of the shoulders. These raised spots would be catching more light and be in sharper relief. I did another round of lines running perpendicular to my first lines to make it look like rough cloth, and then I went back in with some black watery paint and put this in the folds of the fabric and along the bottoms to push the contrast between the dark green and the brighter highlights. Typically when you're painting something really small, the decisions are pretty easy. What color is all the fabric? It's greenish. But when it's really big, when it's blown up and you can see it in proper fidelity, the decisions become a little bit trickier because that's not just clothing, it's a rough, heavy, coarse canvas. And what is the best way to interpret that? For my Trench Witch, I decided that was line all the way down to really show the sun reflecting off of every little stitch that makes up this gown, this little capelet. But it's not the only way to do it. If I was painting like silk, I would want it nice and smooth, or if it was a cotton, I would kind of want an in-between. But I have the option to do things like that on something this big. Now it's time for those buttons, and the buttonholes are like as big as some models' arms. There isn't much to go off of for the Artillery Witch's buttons, and I don't know what this would be with the piping. Gold or silver? Gold is greedy and silver is pure. What would an evil witch be wearing, and what would look good for this composition? I'm trying to avoid a completely grayscale witch, so I think a little color will be good. On the shelf it'll still look gray, but a little bit of color will make it more interesting. I took the silly putty off of her armor and threw it on the back to protect the sculpt from my hands, and a little blob for my finger to hold onto. I took my yucky brown-green color and base coated all the little buttonholes, then I mixed some yellow tan into my paint and stippled this on, hitting the buttons hard and dragging the brush across the ropes, letting the bristles catch on the raised details. Then I took an almost pure white and dotted all the buttons. This is the specular highlights that show that these are shiny materials compared to the fabric. I spun her around and hit the details in the back. I mixed some black into my green so that it was similar in tone to the shadow part of her fabric, and I'll have to keep this detail dark so the lighting looks realistic. I splashed some watery black paint over the details as a wash and then did some highlights using my original green color, and this is where I'm stopping. Her lower back is in shadow. Now onto the ruff. I want this to be very light colored fabric, so I started out base coating with my green-brown color. Then I mixed in some white paint to make a tan, and I zenithal this piece from above so only the underside and the crevices are in my base color. Then I did a stripe running up the middle with white paint. Now the only thing left to do is a dry brushing of white paint to hit on all the textures and details on the top of her ruff. I scraped up the neck of the statue to expose the resin, and then I used some thick super glue to stick these two parts together. I'm still tinkering with ideas of what to do with the head, so I'm gonna quickly finish off the stand. I sprayed on some black paint to get a nice even finish, and then I sprayed it with a gloss varnish so it'll look extremely dark. Gloss finishes make black paint look darker, and I want the stand to look attractive but not draw any attention away from the statue. This bust is looking pretty snazzy. My little, or not so little, Trench Witch is really taking shape. And man, does this guy have some presence. It's so spooky, that face. That completely faceless face. Just no eyes, no details that would resemble a face, just a blank expression in the shape of this weird, like, court jester head. It is a really funky design. And that design has taken the world by storm. The Trench Witch is kind of the mascot of Trench Crusade, and I think it's the mystery. In the lore, these guys stalk the battlefield and they don't speak, they don't communicate. Nobody knows if they were or ever were human, and they can just call forth bombs from the third circle of hell and just give them a little chuck. They're incredibly dangerous, and that silence, that complete mystery surrounding them, makes them feel even more dangerous. I've actually seen the miniature for the Artillery Witch. We're all putting together our warbands for Trench Crusade, and Sean, he's playing the baddies if you can believe it, and he has an Artillery Witch, and it's a pretty cool mini. What to do about that noggin? I'm thinking about what materials it would be made out of, and I think the miniature is trying to like hint at that this is a metal helmet and all of this decoration and iconography has been like soldered on, but I don't know. I have a different idea. Now, her head could totally be made out of metal, but I actually think ceramic. I think pottery would be a really cool way to make that head. It would look just like that. My sister is actually a ceramic artist, and so I'm very familiar with like the artistry that goes into stuff like this. You could totally make this head, and it would be completely inappropriate because it's fragile. But maybe that's fine. Maybe the juxtaposition of something so fragile on a character who's participating in war and lobbing explosives, maybe the juxtaposition of that is actually really cool and plays into the character, because their faith is so strong that there's no chance the artillery witch would ever get injured or damaged. So why not make it out of the best possible artistic tool to represent like the beauty of this helmet and just completely disregard the practicality? To make my porcelain witch's head, I started off with a black prime. Then I sprayed it white, letting a little bit of the black show through on the very bottom. Then I took some desaturated light blue and sprayed it from one side, and on the other side I sprayed a little bit of my green-brown color. Then I took some white paint, dry brushed the head with white to hit on all the raised details, and then sealed in all these flavors with some satin varnish. Now I want to give the head a wash, and I think some black panel liner will be perfect for shading in between all these little shapes. I splashed some mineral spirits onto the head and then dripped the panel liner, and it flowed perfectly into all the cracks. It also stained everything, but that's not a problem because I can wipe it off the raised areas using a makeup sponge soaked in more mineral spirits. Now the head is looking good, but I need to brighten it up. I took some white paint into my airbrush and sprayed it over the forehead and a stripe running up each ear, like the sun is reflecting off of these high spots. And to work some color back into the head, I took some transparent blue ink and sprayed this from one side. This might be the sky, although it's hard to believe the Trench Crusade sky is ever a cheerful blue. I glued the noggin down to the rest of the bust and then gave it another dry brushing of white paint to brighten up the high points of the decoration, and my second ever bust is done. This Trench Witch is a pretty cool object. I still love the juxtaposition of a bust, something that's typically so emotive. You've got such a big face to play with that you can really get the emotions of your character out there. But then Trench Witch, there's just nothing. It's just blank. I've even got a little bit of that with my Space Marine. He's all armored up. You still get a little something with his eyes, but you don't get a lot of expression. I'm kind of missing the point of busts, but I am kind of enjoying painting them. I need a third to make this a proper collection, so I'm gonna keep my eyes open. It'll probably be something weird. I think painting busts is something valuable in the mini painting hobby. You're forced to tackle new challenges and overcome them in unique ways, but for my hobby, I still prefer painting my little toys. Toys that I can take to the friendly local game store and then make them fight other toys. And don't forget about our campaign, The Catacombs of the Blessed Dead, a collaboration between Eons of Battle and Trench Crusade. It's been really fun to create in the world of Trench Crusade, and you can follow the project linked in the description below. There's updates all the time and more to be revealed.